Happy Halloween weekend. We're back with part two of our Halloween special. I'm Chad.
And I'm Matt.
Chris is still here, and we thank you so much for returning to listen to We Used to Talk About This at Work. All right, so we are back with the second part of this Halloween special. Thank you so much for sticking around and troopering through these movies with us, Chris.
No problem. I keep my word. Like you guys decided to do it. You kept your word. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so we are going to jump right back into it with Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. 1 year after the events of Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, the Shape returns to Haddonfield once again in an attempt to kill his now mute niece. So I'm going to jump off and say, like I said at the discussion for Halloween 4, I had very high hopes for where the series was going. And minutes into this movie, I was absolutely pissed. Like when it opens up and it shows what happens at the end of 4 and they're shooting up Michael and then he gets away. And I'm like, wait, what? Wait, why is he getting away? Like he's irrelevant now. And so like they're like, okay, we're just gonna bring Michael back and reset the status quo. And now Jamie is mute now and she's got magic powers. What? And she's got a little boy sidekick. What are we doing? And then the teenagers in this movie were worse than the teenagers in the last movie. I hated this movie. I hated it so much.
I think the audience already knows what I'm going to say about this movie.
Is it cold garbage?
It's lava hot garbage. So, like Chad said, it didn't make, I keep saying this, like you said, didn't make sense. Why is she mute now? But then the only person that can read her is the little boy. He can only one that can understand her. And like you said, when he escaped through the
he escaped through the ground.
Right. Basically through the ground. It was and he can they're connected somehow. It was like you doing shit just to do shit. And it didn't make sense. And then like you said, those kids. Now, this has been going on. This is the 5th movie, or I guess technically 4. There's been 4 murder sprees in this town. Why the fuck are they dressing up as this killer? When they already said that this man has been killing their friends and family and shit like that, but it's Halloween, so I'm about to dress up as this man. So like when the cops came, was when they were in the barn area.
Yeah.
So when the cops came and like all those people was dressed up as him, I'm like, this is the first time I rooted for Michael Myers. I was like, kill all the motherfucking kids. I was like, they don't know no better. They want to play like this. When you play with fire, you get burned. So I was like this, Michael killed every fucking one of them. That's what I was thinking. I was like, that is just so stupid to me. It's not like he's going to different cities and maybe you didn't hear about this. He's going to the same city.
Right.
Killing this your cousin or whoever. And now it's Halloween. I want to be like him for this night.
And it's like why the police aren't taking this serious. Like this, I'm halfway with you, like between movies 2 and 4, where it was like 10 years apart. But this happened last year, and the police are like, it's not a lot we can do about that. And then like, okay, the part where they make that big ruckus and they get that dark-haired girl before she gets back in the car with Michael, and they take her to Jamie. And then she hang out for a little bit, and then she like, all right, y'all, I gotta hit this party. Y'all be good, all right? Y'all be cool. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right. And also I was thinking, how old is Jamie in this movie?
9?
Okay.
Maybe?
Why wouldn't she just write down this shit?
You have the ability
to... Right, because I'm thinking about when she was like, cookies, big woman, or whatever. Why couldn't she just write down what the fuck she was talking about? and they were trying to struggle a bit for something. But the only reason, but the boy was the only person who could understand what she was saying.
This movie was a mess.
Also, like I know they changed the mask from like the first one. I know, like I've heard. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like it was like Michael. It was not Michael. William Shatner's face or something like that.
Yeah,
But
Inside Out.
His mask is not intimidating. I maybe it's not the mask. Maybe it's the hair. The hair makes it look silly.
Yeah.
But yes. Go ahead, Chris. This is the greatest. This is the greatest movie ever made. Correct.
Coming from two guys that like Guardians of the Galaxy, okay, no, this was one of the ones. Now it was. I didn't get it because when I saw 4, honestly, I was like, okay, they're going in the right direction. And when I saw, 5, now the fact that they said that they had the connection is because they touched each other. So that's how they tried to do the connection thing, which would tie into some movies down the road. But it's not my most favorite one. I agree with what you all said about the storylines. Like some of the stuff did not make sense. Then you kill the sister, right? Rachel, like the way she died was so stupid to me.
I agree. And
because she dealt with him.
Yeah, and then then they had her in that towel. Like this is what I keep coming back to. We do not need this titillation. She's running around in a towel. Like, why do we need to do that, movie?
Yeah, like I say, I mean, once again, I'm a Halloween fan. So if you remember, I've said in the last episode, seemed like when the movie started, the more it go on, the worse they start getting. I had high hopes for it. It just, because to me, 4 was good. So you like, okay, 5. I didn't necessarily think that they were going to kill Michael Myers off, but I thought they were going to do something with, Jamie taking his spot.
Right.
But it seems like they wrote this script in a day, almost, because a lot of it just didn't make sense. It did not make sense. The only saving grace, again, was, in this one to me, was honestly Dr. Loomis. Because he's such a good actor, but the story was just so weak. And why did old girl, they do all this stuff to save you, then when you look in the car, it's gone. So why you had to know that was Michael Myers in the car and not your boyfriend? Because why would he just drive off and leave you like that? And then you go to the party. Like some of that, that's the one thing about all horror movies that kind of get me where I really don't make sense, because you make people look so stupid. Like no common sense.
Right. It's like, when have you ever gotten in a car with your significant other and they don't talk to you?
Right.
Yeah. So you just gonna be like, all right, let me just get in this car. And the guys are different builds. It's not like they was the same build. Michael is bigger than this dude, but then like they just go off and ride. Oh, it's the same car, so it's okay. And you just drive off.
And that's another thing I didn't really care for. It's like, why is Michael playing all these fucking games? Like, why are you putting on the mask and fucking with this girl? Just fucking kill her. I thought that was your whole thing. Like, why are you playing disguise?
Now, this is the one thing I never looked up. I don't know if the people who wrote 4, I don't know if they wrote part 5 or not, or even had anything to do with it.
I feel like they didn't, because like if they did, they would have continued part 4. And then if you also notice, well, it's hard not to notice, part 5 was setting up stuff for the future of the series with that man in black that they did nothing with.
Right. And also, if you remember in part 4, like when they showed his Michael arm,
he tattoo.
He had that mark, which kind of goes into which we'll get into the next couple movies. So I do think somebody has something to do with it, because they always, like they said, Michael Myers was supposed to be a man, but they always kind of hinted around to where he had like supernatural powers, but they never wanted to really go into it. So, but no, like I said, this one was not a good one in the series. This one of the ones I don't have to, like, if I go back and watch certain Halloween movies, I really don't have to watch this one.
Yeah, just to reiterate what Chad said about like why is he when he put that mask on to pretend like he was the other dude? Why are you doing this? This is not in your character. This is not in Michael Myers' character to be playing games with these people. He just comes and just kills them. So why are you dressing up and trying to trick somebody and doing something like that you've never done in no previous movie now? But also that plays into something later
Well,
on
now, Matt,
in
I
the later
disagree with
movies.
that. Matt, I do
What?
disagree with that because in other movies he did, like in the first one, he had that sheet over his head and stuff and was playing around. So he did kind of trick people
Oh,
before.
yeah, that's
He
right.
did. So that's not a true statement. In all the movies, he do kind of
And he did some
like
stupid
just
shit
don't
like
kill
that
him.
in part two. Also, I
Yeah,
can't remember what he did.
yeah.
But
So
no,
that's
Yeah.
but
that's
no,
part of it. That's
whether
part
it's
of
in
what he
his
does.
character or not is fucking dumb. Just kill
Yeah.
these people. Like, why? He's so big, he doesn't need to sneak up on anybody. Like, he doesn't need to throw people off by being in disguise. Just walk in the room and stab the shit out of them. That's
But do you
what you've
think
been
that?
doing.
But do you think that could be part of the reason why he does it? Because if he's just a sick, twisted person, maybe he gets off on doing that.
Any final words on part 5?
Nope.
Fuck that movie. All right, so let's hop to Halloween 6. Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. This one came out in 95. Just to juxtapose the difference, the last one came out in 89. 6 years after Michael Myers last terrorized Haddonfield, he returns there in pursuit of his niece, Jamie Lloyd, who has escaped with her newborn child, for which Michael and a mysterious cult have sinister plans. So, Matt, why don't you lead the charge on this?
It was
What type of
good.
garbage? Man? What type of garbage?
It was good to see a young Paul Rudd in this.
I mean, I think this is his first movie.
Okay, so it was good to see a young Ant-Man. But let's go back to this thing. So basically, he just don't like nobody in his family. So if a cousin comes in here and does something, has some kids, then it's my third cousin. I gotta kill it. This is just where we're at now. Just any kind of relative to me. I want to be the only Myers in this bitch.
He got to cut out the whole family tree. Bloodline gone, all right?
Right.
He getting all that inheritance money.
So we'll take that thing because I really hate that. I really wish they would just explain why he's going after his family like that. I'm trying to think. All these movies run together. So Paul Rudd.
So this is the one where it opens up with like an adult Jamie. She gives birth, and she escapes with the baby.
To the bus station, and then
Michael finds her, and Paul Rudd finds the baby, and he can feed that baby all fucking day, and it wasn't crying. He don't have no diapers to change it. Like what are we doing here, movie? Like,
I got a question. Just I'm thinking about this. So hypothetically, if Michael comes and kills the baby, is it over? Is he's like, all right, that's it, I'm done?
So are you saying we should have sacrificed that baby?
No, no. Hypothetically, I mean, I'm just thinking if this is all based around he wants to kill his family, and say if he succeeds, is he like, all right, that's it? Let me go get a job at Home Depot or something? Like, is that his whole point? Is just to do that?
Mission accomplished, boys.
I don't know.
Probably. I mean, I don't fuck Chris.
Go ahead. What's your question?
What is the point? Like, if he kills his whole family, what then? What is his objective then?
Is he done?
Depends on which storyline you're going by, I guess. I mean, with this one they went into the druid and the occult, and Jamie went from 10 to 18. Dr. Loomis had retired. And then the hood comes back and
are you trying to remind yourself what happened in this piece of shit?
Yeah, I have to talk it out because like this one.
Yeah. I mean, this all ran together. We should not have watched all these in 1 week.
Yeah, but, so no, with me, like, no, because see, like some of this, like once again, I like Michael Myers, so I'm not gonna I'm not gonna trash the theory, but I just think the writing got worse. And if you remember, that's something I keep saying. Like the writers did not do it service because they kind of brought up, you know, the druid and the possibly being born and this and that, but they never. What did that really tie into the movie? Because they never really did go into about it. And like you said, the Man in Black. So he had been working since the first movie against Dr. Loomis, and nobody even knew that.
Sure.
Because if you remember, he was in the first movie.
He was?
Yeah.
I don't
He was in
remember
the
that.
first one. He was the doctor. If you remember when Dr. Loomis was telling people, yeah, when Dr. Loomis was telling people when he was telling them, contact Haddonfield, do this, he's evil. He was always the doctor that would he would be like, well, you don't know if they're going there, if they're going to do this, or if they're going to do that. That was him.
Okay.
So, like I say, this I watched the movie. I didn't like it. And it opened up a lot of stuff and didn't explain anything. You know, I felt like they really didn't know where they were going at this point.
So here's my question. It felt like as each movie went on that they made Donald Pleasance play Loomis more and more deranged. Like, did anybody else get that feeling? Like, it felt like he was just like foaming at the mouth in this movie, just like going insane.
Well, in this one, correct me if I'm wrong, this is his last movie.
Yes, but I'm just saying, like, even in the last one, he just seemed like crazy.
He
like
got
like the way they had him play the role.
Well, part of it is, you know, I think he was sick during this movie also.
Okay.
Because he didn't have a lot of.
I mean, he passed away before it even came out.
Right. So to me, he was besides, of course, Michael Myers, he was the strongest character. And some people believe he was the strongest character. Like, I was a Dr. Loomis fan. And I kind of agree with that. I don't want to say to make him go crazy, but it seemed like they didn't know what to do with him anymore.
Right.
Like, you know, this is the man that knew him. And then when, you know, he said, I'm retired now. Then you bring Tommy Doyle back. That's who Paul Rudd was supposed to be, Tommy Doyle from the first movie.
Right.
But at the same, I mean, it didn't do it for me.
Yeah, this movie was a piece of shit. Yeah, it's like I didn't even have it in me to be angry anymore because I had just watched Halloween 5. I was just like, this is happening. So just like I actually was talking to Matt about this like pre-show. At least these movies short. Just let's just ride along. Let's just get to the end of this station, please. Like just make it stop. All right. So hopping on over to what some would say is a breath of fresh air for the series, Halloween H2O, or Halloween 20 years later. It's Halloween 7. Laurie Strode, now the dean of a Northern California private school with an assumed name, must battle the shape one last time as the life of her own son hangs in the balance. So in this one, this is the first retconning of the timeline of Halloween, and it basically says that Halloween 1 and 2 happened. Everything after that does not exist. I overall like this movie. I feel like they did LL Cool J like dirty as shit. I didn't like that when he was reading his book to his woman. I can't remember if it was his wife or his girlfriend. It may have been his wife. That she just was coming up as the most stereotypical Black woman, period. And I'm like, did we really need to do that? Like, why are we treating the Black characters like this? And then I'm not a fan of that. But beyond that, the movie was all right.
I enjoyed it. I love me some Jamie Lee Curtis. So
she had that fucking True Lies haircut. Boy.
True Lies, yeah. True Lies. So I thought this was better, one of the better ones. Stuff made sense. that can make sense. But it's kind of like one of those things where you go back to this has been happening, and but people still don't think about it or doesn't think it could happen to them. But I can understand, like you said, it's been years after
20 years.
20 years. So,
Also, it didn't have this didn't take place in Haddonfield.
Oh yeah, that's right. And the other shit didn't happen either. So this is just the first. You said the first one,
And the second one,
and then this one. So all the other shit didn't happen.
This is technically a new version of Halloween 3.
Okay. Well, then never mind. It makes sense. Well, the son was just like he's just going off the stories of his mother, and he's tired of living like that. He wants to be free. I did like Jamie Lee Curtis's once she got them free, closed the gate. She was like, all right, I'm ready. Let's finish this. Oh, wait, let me back up. So when the son and his girl was running away, right? And then, they got to get through the cage and she's trying to get the key, right? So she unlocks the cage and then she drops the key, right? So they show Michael just slowly walking, but she's still reaching her underneath the cage. I'm thinking, just open up the cage and grab the keys. He's right. So far, but she's like struggling underneath it. But yeah. But besides that, I loved how she got her son free. Then she was like, all right, I'm about to come finish this shit myself.
Yeah, over getting her Thanos on. I'll do it myself.
I did not like the ending.
Okay.
Wait, did the ending end in that one, or did they show that on the next one?
No, it was both. No, okay, so I'm with you on that one because they were like, this ends here, but the way that they performed it gave that doubt. So like, I don't know how anybody in the theater that saw H2O was 100% like that is the end of Michael Myers.
Well, yeah, and then we'll talk about next one how he came back, but I thought that shit was stupid.
Yes,
and I forgot to say this earlier for even on the last episode for these movies was I hate when they show in a movie when they show me previously this happened in the other movie.
This is not
right. This is not a TV show. You don't need to show me what previously happened in this other movie. Just talk about what happened. Don't actually show me what actually happened in the movie. I don't like that. But with this, but yeah, I enjoyed it. Kids are so fucking stupid. But I guess that's kids everywhere from all times. But
oh, you know what? I really liked how this movie opened with baby Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And it pulled a scream where you're like, oh shit. Fucking Drew Barrymore's in this movie, and they're like, nah, man, dead.
Right. So, Chris, what you think? Or what's your thoughts?
Okay, I went to the theater to see that movie. I thought it was done. I was like, okay, that's the way to end.
Like when he
looked
up.
Okay. Hold on. I thought it was done just because the name of it, and then when you watched it, at that time, without seeing how they brought it back in the next one, I was like, okay, he dead. And I was fine with him actually being dead. I loved the ending of it. I thought he was going to get what he was had coming for him. I thought for them, if for as bad as part 5 and 6 was, I thought the way they redid it was great. So, I mean, this one of the better ones. I actually liked it. I liked the whole movie, the whole thing. I had no complaints about it. None.
Even how they did LL Cool J So Goddamn Dirty, you was okay with that?
Yeah.
I don't like LL. What you talking about?
I don't like LL. So
wait,
I don't.
No, wait, what you mean he survived? I don't remember him living.
He survived. LL Cool J didn't die.
Yeah, they thought he was dead, but then later on, because remember when she was about to stab Michael, LL's one who grabbed her. And she's like, he's dead. And then towards the end, he was like, I'm not writing a romantic anymore. I'm going to do a romantic thriller.
I mentally blocked all that shit out.
Right. And his girlfriend, Matt, you remember because his girlfriend was like, oh, baby, that's great. I love you.
Yeah. This is right. That happened. And right then, Jamie Lee Curtis that's when she took the gun and was like, put him in there. And she took the van and drove away.
And the way they did it, even in the van, when, she would look through the rearview mirror, and she would see him moving, but when she would look back, the body wasn't moving anything. So when it flipped over and everything's coming, you got for that time period, when she cut his head off, I thought it was done. I was like, okay, I'm good with this.
Yeah, I can see that. Just like
Yeah.
if it wasn't another movie to watch after this,
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, it was done.
Okay, so do it like, yeah, Matt, just think about what you just said though. At the time, I'm in the theater, it's coming out the first day. They don't say, of course, they're not gonna tell you it's another movie.
Right.
So if you following it, you like, oh, okay, so Michael finally got his at his end. It's done.
Yeah, because this is the first time in any of the movies where really somebody gave where he's really gotten some work put on him. Like, right. Sure, he was shot in like the first one or maybe the second one, but then usually in these movies,
he was set on fire in part 2.
Oh well, yeah, and he was set on fire, but then like in all the other ones, he was punched or something like that. This is the one where like something like physically, like something's happened to him. So this could be, okay, this is the first time that he's been dismembered. So yes, this could be the end of it.
Right. And Chad, you answered like, what was the reaction when his head was cut off and they showed it laying on the ground? Everybody was like, damn. You was like, everybody, they took that breath.
Even when she was walking up to him and like he touched the mask, like he was like, oh, what's happening? Why is this on my face? Like that's how I read that. Like she walks up to him, he's like touching his mask, like, what is this?
But he also looked at her because when she showed a sign of weakness, he gives a look at her like, yeah, give me weakness, I'm gonna kill you.
Okay, I mean that's fair.
Because if you remember, he did that, and she showed a sign like she lowered the axe for a minute, and he turned his head and looked at her with just like the most evil look, and that's what made her go ahead and go through with the swipe, because she said, okay, he trying to play on my emotions again. So that's why, I thought it was done. And if they would have ended the franchise like that, now if they would have did a reboot or something or start telling it like they always do, that was cool. But I thought this was actually the end of this.
So you saying if Rob Zombie would have came in after this, then it would have been okay.
We're gonna talk about that with some other ones.
We'll talk about that at the 8.
But see, now that was just like a fair thing because I see what you're saying, but look at it through the eyes of a person who went to the theater.
I'm with you, but it's like I'm looking at it, I'm like, that's a weird thing to put in there, and like that, I'm assuming that was their like little side door to like make a 8th movie if this movie made money.
Mm-hmm. And the sad part about it, that's what goes on with a lot of movies, because they know when they have such a rabid fan base, that you can always throw it out. Like, let's be honest, 5 and 6 shouldn't have been made.
Correct.
For real.
Well, 5 should have been something different. 5 should have been
right.
an actual continuation of 4.
Right. I agree with you. And 6 just was you bringing the druid. And here's the thing, another thing about reason why I think H2O was so good. This is the first movie that didn't have Dr. Loomis. Yes, they referenced him.
They couldn't have him though.
Right, because he was dead, but that's what I'm saying. He was gone. And it was still a strong movie.
I feel like his presence would not have been well received in this movie.
Why you say that?
What they were doing with the character in movies 4 through 6 just had him running around like a lunatic, and I don't feel like they would have gave him. I don't know if how his character could have been with. You have to factor in his actual age. So this is 20 years after the events of Halloween 1 and 2, since they're the same night. So like he's 20 years older. So like I'm assuming it would have been something where he was Michael's doctor. He's retired by now. He's coming out of retirement, but he's like what 70? Like what would he have done?
Right. And like you said, with him being so erratic and everything else like that, too, we're like, Jamie wasn't erratic and crazy. She was like, I ain't gonna say calm, but like it's like she's been planning for this, like she's been waiting for this day to happen, type of thing.
But you have to realize if he was still alive, movies 3, 4, and 5 and 6 did not happen.
Right. I mean,
so and I don't think he was a lunatic in part 4, Chad. You keep saying lunatic. I didn't get that out of him in part 4.
Like the way he's yelling at the people, like the police and stuff, like to try and get them to hear what he has to say. And
because
you
they
know,
wasn't taking him serious.
right. But that's how you get people to take you seriously.
But you have to realize too, at that time, he's seen all the murders and stuff that Michael committed.
I agree, but those people hadn't. So like you just run around yelling at people is not helping your case.
I think logically you're right, but when you've been through what he went through and he's seen the murders and the stuff that he seen, I think he,
I've never said he wasn't right. I'm just saying how he's perceived.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I just looked at it through the eyes of watching all the movies. Like he knows what's going to happen, so that's the way I always just took it. I never looked at it, but that's why it's actually good that we talk about this, because like what you guys are saying is some stuff kind of like maybe I didn't never really thought about because I watched them so much.
Yeah, and then like that whole thing of like maybe the masks are making him Michael crazy. That's an interesting theory.
Yeah.
So I do want to talk about, so these kids are in private school and they have a potential to go on a school trip, and school trips are not free. So the friends are like, oh yeah, let's totally do shit. Like we already approved to go on this trip. So our family's paid for this trip. Let's go and fuck up our chances on going on this trip so we can party. Like we just flushing money down the toilet.
Hey man, those are rich kids. Those are rich kids. Don't be thinking like that.
Right, them rich kid problems. Right.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts before we jump to the final movie in the series in this original run?
I liked it. It was good.
Finally, we have Halloween Resurrection, or Halloween 8. 3 years after he terrorized his sister, Michael Myers confronts her again before traveling to Haddonfield to deal with the cast and crew of a reality show, which is being broadcast from his old home. Chris?
This is probably the worst one in this timeline to me. I absolutely, the only part of this movie that I like is just because Jamie Lee Curtis is a good actress. So she played her part well. I didn't like the story that they came up with about how he broke, how he crushed somebody's vertebrae, and you did it. I didn't like this movie at all. Busta Rhymes, Tyra Banks, the whole story. It just was stupid. You're gonna go to the house that he's in. Busta Rhymes is a terrible actor. I mean, I didn't like it.
Can I ask, why did he have one sideburn?
Right.
I'll let Matt answer that.
I mean, was that the style at the time?
I can't remember that one, bro. Like, and what did Tyra Banks? Why was she even in the movie for 35 seconds?
I'm assuming this is before Top Model, so her agent was just trying to blow her up, man.
Yeah. So
and then all that damn dancing she doing while that man getting murdered.
Right. And then they see the car and they tow the car away. I mean, it was bad, man. It was bad. But I would say this: it's some people that want to see them do what happens after the resurrection just because of the ending. They thought that was cool.
So dumb.
Yeah, just my opinion. I hated this movie, and I put it equivalent to Part 6. I hated those two movies. Those are two movies in the series that I absolutely hate.
My thing was like, why? So we have a whole subplot of people watching the webcast at a party that have no bearing on the plot at all. And I'm like, why are these kids here? Like, yeah, okay, the one boy, he was texting that girl, but in the house. But it's like, why do we need these scenes of all these kids coming to watch this webcam? Like, what was the point of that?
It feels like, they had a concept that's been going on since 78, and they're like, you know what? We need to modernize this movie. They was like, oh, wait, we got not social media, we got texting. Okay, let's throw this in the movie. All right, computers, we got computers now. Let's put this in the movie. what's hot on these streets? Survivor. Let's
reality,
do
yeah.
reality TV. Let's
Yeah.
put that in there, and let's figure out what we can do. Hip hop is popping right now. Okay, let's throw this in there too.
Let's get another rapper.
Right. It's like it's like throw this in this movie. You're like,
It seemed like they tried to have Busta Rhymes be show enough with his karate kick.
Right. Oh my God, that karate.
I mean,
what the fuck?
it's just like I told you, those two right there for this timeline are the worst. It's just my opinion. I did not like them. I went to Rush Hour. I think I spent, this is when Rush Hour used to be like $5, and I felt like I was cheated.
yeah,
be honest with you.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It was bad.
It's
and
like they tried to give it some kind of depth where they had the high chair, like, oh, maybe he was strapped in or something like that, or like that. They tried to give him, and like he used to live there, like they had a half-eaten rat or something. But it's gonna be a no for me, dog.
Matt, you brought up a good point when you said earlier. They tried to, for that time frame, you're right, it was Survivor. It was this. But then you have Busta Rhymes sitting up there saying, I didn't know all this. So Michael Myers was supposed to be eating the half-eaten rats, but the rest of the stuff, when they had the chain and all that stuff, he had them put that stuff down there, his crew that was killed.
Oh, yeah, you're right, Dad. He said that.
Right.
Yeah, he said to add to it.
Right. So to me, okay, now, if you see a half-eaten rat and you didn't put that down there, see, this is why I think now, Chad and Matt, this is what I'm with you on right now, because like I said, I love horror movies. If I see a half-eaten rat that looks like it has some teeth marks, I'm out that bitch.
Yep.
I'm done. I mean, come on, I'm done. And no, they don't stop. I mean, it just was.
And of course, they had to add, like, somebody kissing or almost having sex in it, and it was just like,
no, I thought they did have sex and we had boobs for no fucking reason because she
right. That's what I'm saying. Right, that's what I'm saying. But it's just like, so you just got in this house. It ain't been 24 hours yet, and you already fucking some person in there.
And then like we also smoking out in the house. Like you're gonna be in the house like 12 hours. You can't hold that in.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, like the size of that house, it's not conducive for a fucking reality TV show crew.
Right.
And don't go back to the fact that looks nothing like the original house from Halloween.
I mean, also, like this movie came out like what, 2000, 2001?
2000 or something.
2002. This movie came out in 2002, and the movie had the nerve to be like, all right, this is streaming technology, y'all. We did not have technology in 2002 to like have small cameras like that can also be broadcast online, and the quality is that fucking good. Like we were still fighting Real Player. Y'all remember that shit in 2002? Where no matter how good your computer was, no matter how good your internet was, you was buffering. So no, fuck you, movie.
Yeah, it was just man. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was not a fan. This is one I think I only watched one time at the theater and one time at home because there was nothing else on, or either I was too lazy to get up to find a remote control.
That's funny.
And it's just like this shit go off.
You guys are gonna be surprised where it is in my ranking, but this wasn't good.
Yeah, also you guys all touched upon it, but I didn't say it. Yeah, I definitely didn't like that whole Michael Myers switching the dude's clothes and a mask and breaking his larynx in there so he couldn't talk.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like that.
That was a dumb reason because, again, if you like watch the other movie and they want to sit up there and say, well, he didn't know, he could have took that mask off at any time. He had use of both his hands.
Yep.
Right.
So it made that excuse made no sense.
Correct.
And maybe that's why from the start of that movie all the way to the end, maybe when I heard the excuse, it was like this some bullshit, and it just went downhill from there. And Jamie Lee was like, look, I have to come back. I'm gonna shoot 5 minutes and I'm through with this shit.
So I just want to talk budget and stuff. So the budget of this movie was $13 million, and the worldwide gross was 37 million. And as a result, what was it? 4 years later, Chris?
Mhm.
Um, Rob Zombie rebooted this series. It was 5 years later. So we only watched the first 8 movies of the Halloween franchise. So can you tell the audience about the Rob Zombie remakes?
Okay. So Rob Zombie came in the first one, which goes back to Matt, you and what you and Chad was talking about. He went and showed Michael Myers' life before he became a killer. So it went through, he was being bullied in school. His I want to say either stepfather or father, I can't remember. He was no good. He, treated him bad and all this stuff. So it goes into, Michael was done wrong. So based on the things that he went through in his life, that's what made him become an evil killer. So when he did his first murder and he killed family members, he goes into the hospital where he meets Dr. Loomis. Dr. Loomis was played by Michael McDowell, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. Uh, I hate to compare it because they're two different actors, but you always gonna miss the original Dr. Loomis. So Mike's is in the insane asylum. Dr. Loomis is talking to him and stuff. His mom is still coming to see him, trying to reach out to him. So he's still talking and stuff, asking, can I go home? When can I do this? Well, the mom, let me go back. So Michael actually talks to the doctor, and the doctor tells him, well, Michael, I've done everything I can do with you. This is over time period. So Michael has gotten bigger. So on this one, he's probably like 6'4", 265. He's like, Michael, I have to leave you now. I'm not going to be here anymore. Michael's made his own little mask and everything. So he goes out with the mother to tell the mother, I'm leaving. Michael kills one of the nurses. The mom goes home and kills herself. Yeah, she actually shot herself because she's watching home videos and she realized, my son is just a killer. So she kills herself. So nobody's there to see Michael. Danny Trejo is in the movie. He's one of the orderlies. He actually looked out for Michael and always treated Michael nice. So the night Michael breaks out, Danny like, look, don't treat Michael bad. Don't do him like this. Well, he killed him and everybody else the same. The first movie was not that bad. He goes, he finds his little sister and all that stuff. So that's what spawned the second one. I would say if you have time, go ahead and watch the first one. The second one is the only one that 98% of the people agree on was like the worst Halloween movie ever. Michael becomes this 7'2", 400-pound killer that's flipping cars and shit. Horrible. Then it has a scene in it to where when I just got up and walked out the theater, his Rob Zombie wife rides in on a white horse. You don't know if it's in Michael's mind or if she's dreaming. And that was the end of Halloween.
That sounds absolutely ridiculous.
That was the worst movie ever made in the whole series. Might be in the world.
So let's jump to Rotten Tomatoes. Thank you for breaking down the Rob Zombie movies.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do something with these reboots, these latest reboots. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right, so this game's gonna be a little bit different. So with movies 5 through 8, one of them is rated 9%. I want you guys to tell me which movie of the 4 we talked about today is rated 9% on Rotten Tomatoes, and then I'll tell you the scores for all of them.
H2O. I mean, no, the newest.
Wait,
8. 8 was a 9%.
So you're saying Resurrection was 9%?
Yeah.
Chris?
I won't. It's hard for me because I hated 5 and 6. I want to say maybe 6.
Okay. Halloween 5 was rated 12%.
Okay.
Halloween 6 was rated 9%.
Wait,
Halloween-
what was 6 again?
That's the
With
one
the
with the
druids
cult.
and all that stuff.
Okay.
Halloween 7 was rated 52%, and Halloween 8 was also rated 12%, like Halloween 5. All right, so let's run through this trivia, and then we're going to rate these movies and get the fuck out of here. Halloween 5 is the only entry in the series to feature two characters named Michael, Tina's boyfriend and Michael Myers. Most of the cast and crew disowned Halloween 6. On the Halloween 25 Years of Terror DVD, they stated that the studio, producers, and director interfered and argued to the point of ridiculousness, which resulted in a very poorly directed and edited film. In Halloween H2O, in certain scenes, Michael can be seen wearing two different masks. The director decided well into production to go with a different mask, so certain scenes were reshot. Some with the original mask can still be seen, and in one shot, it had to be altered with CGI to replace Michael's old mask with the new one. Jamie Lee Curtis hated the idea of a sequel to Halloween H2O, as she felt that Laurie had a satisfying ending in the previous film. She initially refused to be in the film until she ultimately agreed to do her part only under the condition that she is killed off in the opening of the film so as to make sure her character wouldn't appear in another sequel. At the time of the film's initial release, the film's producers tried to explain it by claiming Jamie Lee Curtis was so impressed with the screenplay that she wanted a large part in it. She publicly stated that was not the case. She was under contract to appear in the film. What is your ranking of all 8 Halloween movies? I will lead the charge. So mine is 3, Season of the Witch, 7, H2O, 4, 8, 2, 1, 6, 5.
I go 1, 4, 3, 2, H2O, Halloween 5, Halloween 7, and the worst was Halloween 6.
I go H2O, 3, 4, Resurrection, 5, 6, 2, 1. But also, I want to say this. I watching it through 2018, 2021 vision. Also, like I didn't grow up watching this thing, so it hits differently for me. Like an example I brought up is like, for example, when we did the episode on Meteor Man, I love Meteor Man. My son did not care for it, but he was like, the one thing he said, he goes, I understood everything that was going on, but like the graphics and everything else, he didn't care for. But me, I love that movie.
Wow.
Also, like one thing he said was he understood what was going on. The biggest plot for me is always going to be, why is he doing this? So since that's the one that was the first one who led first movie, so this is where I'm like, all right, I don't understand why he's doing this. So that little by little, it kind of dwindles some. Okay, so they never even want to explain why he does it. So that's why like I don't harp on it as much throughout the later movies because I've come to accept it. But the first one was like, what are we doing here? I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, I get, like you said, I guess like I'm older than you, so maybe because like that's just one of the, to me that's what started horror from watching like stuff in the 80s and stuff. Like I liked it, so it was like, okay. So Matt, what is your favorite horror movie? And Chad, same question in.
I don't know. Like after I watched this, I started thinking about it. I don't know.
So I can answer that question.
Go ahead, Chad.
There is a Spanish horror film called The Orphanage. Have you seen it, Chris?
The Orphanage.
It was produced
Tell me
by...
about it, because it sounds familiar. I don't know. It's just an interesting thing because it's so many different types of horror.
Oh, I got one. Well, it's not my favorite, but this one is popping out. The Devil.
The Devil?
Mm-hmm.
On the elevator.
Yes.
On the elevator.
Oh, Devil.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Devil.
I saw that.
Okay, so the director of The Orphanage directed the second Jurassic World movie. So that's actually not good. He's actually a good director. So
Chad, can you read the synopsis of the orphanage for me? Because I'm trying to see if I remember it. And I
yes.
can't.
A woman brings her family back to her childhood home, which used to be an orphanage for handicapped children. Before long, her son starts to communicate with an invisible friend. Our son goes like missing. And what,
Okay.
not to get too much into spoilers, because I would really suggest that since it is Halloween weekend, that the audience check this movie out. But everything that happens in this movie is this woman's fault. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Okay.
But it's a good little Spanish movie.
Okay. I have to go back because it sounds familiar. I can't remember if I watched it or not. Because when you watch so many horror movies, everything
I
starts
mean,
becomes
just movies. Like these Michael
just
Myers
movies.
movies
Everything
just
comes a blur.
merging
Yeah.
together.
So did you all like Scream at all? Like, did you like the Scream trilogy?
I like Scream 1 a lot. Last year, like I was on a kick. I rewatched all three of them. As when I was younger, I really liked Scream 3, but rewatching it like with my 2020 eyes, I didn't. The only good one in my opinion is the first one. Oh wait, there's 4 Scream movies actually.
Actually, it's gonna be 5 because one's coming out in 2022.
So yeah,
January.
I like Scream 4. Like they really play up the subversion of things. And have you seen the Scream TV show?
I've never got into it.
So I finished the first season and it was okay, but then like the second season they were like really hitting hard that CW type shit where it's like, oh yeah, the teenagers, there's a party every week and all this stuff, and I wasn't feeling it.
So is it the same? I'm sorry. Is it the same?
It's a different story. I believe the Scream movies are just movies in that universe.
Okay. Should I watch it or not watch it?
No. But I will say season 3 is disconnected from seasons 1 and 2, and it's got like a almost all black cast. So I think it's still on Netflix, but I will eventually check out the 3rd season. It's like not connected to anything else, and it's like it's got black people in it.
Okay, so I'll go watch that one first. Then
yeah,
I'll watch that one first. Matt, what's your favorite horror series?
You said Devil series?
Oh no,
series. Yeah, series.
I don't know. I don't have to think about it. So I'm like, off the top of my head, I like
Elm Street.
Well, I like the character. I think Freddy Krueger, I like the character Freddy Krueger, but I haven't seen those movies since I was a kid. Just horror movies. I like The Hills Have Eyes.
Love it. I love it. I'm with you. I love. Did you see the original one in 1970s, the 1970 ones? If you ever have time and you really want to see where it came from, watch the one. I want to say, Chad, tell me if I'm wrong, 74.
I don't know, probably.
The original, the original Hills Have Eyes. I think it wanted to come out in 74. If you like the remake, which was really well done, and the
1977.
77. Go watch the original one. It's actually they had the Hills Have Eyes 1, and then it's a part 2 to it too, Matt.
Okay.
The part 2 one is not that good. Part 1 is really good.
Yeah. But I can't think of like a series or a trilogy or anything like that off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So I'll throw one out there. The Collection series.
Yes.
I've never seen it.
And they're about to come up with a 3rd one, right?
Did you look it up? They said now it might not come out.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Because they said right when COVID hit, they had only been shooting for a week. Yes. Oh my God. The Collector, the Collection,
and then the Collected.
And the 3rd was supposed to be the Collected. Yes.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm so excited. Man, I hope that I'm not rich, but if they said everybody donate $100 to get this movie made, I would write my check today.
Are you familiar with this
series?
Are you familiar with this series, Matt?
No.
All right, so it's pretty cool. So the first movie, this guy, he breaks into this house and he's just gonna steal some money because he needs some quick cash, because he's in need. And when he gets there, there's like Saw level traps in the house, and he's like, "What the fuck is happening here?" And like he's just trying to get out the house, but like the killer's like, "Nah, man, let's play a game."
Yeah.
And
Orkin.
at one
That's his
point,
name,
this was
Orkin.
supposed to be a prequel to Saw,
Yeah,
What's it called?
The Collection.
the
Oh,
collector.
sorry, The Collector.
The
That's the
collector.
first one.
Yeah, his name is Orkin, the lead character, Orkin. Oh, Chad, you just took me back. That, oh my God, that is one of, you know
Yeah.
what?
That's a good
And
series.
Yeah, and it didn't come out with a lot of fanfare, but it came out with like a dedicated base because that first movie was so well done, and the second was
Right.
good too. And that girl was so cute in the second one. Woo.
Have you seen what's that? Have you seen Cube?
From
No.
the late '90s, early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
I've never watched it. Is it something to watch?
So I've only seen the first one, and I've heard only the first one's good. But yeah, the first one is so fucking good. Like the only thing is like something else. Oh, the only thing is like the those escape room movies have taken a lot from it.
Okay.
So if
I
you've
actually
seen,
like Escape Room.
I like the first one. I haven't seen the second one yet.
You would like it. You would like it. It's good. You would like it.
Yeah.
Oh
So
boy
what's-
is coming back to Hellraiser. He's finally getting it back.
Oh, Clive Barker.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, they've been like shitting on that franchise for some time now.
Yeah. You know, I don't know how to feel about this because like Mustafa Khan, who was over Halloween as the executive producer and the money man for so long,
Mhm.
he rushed shit. But sometimes when you take the vision away from the original person, you lose stuff. But sometimes you need to take it away because the eyes get cold. But I think Clive Barker is such a good writer.
Yeah. I mean, but also like a lot of his writing was like not super possible in the 90s.
Right. Have you all heard anything about Candyman? Because I heard it was some shit. I heard it was straight bullshit.
Oh, Matt. But yeah, answer. Why don't you tell Chris about Candyman? Hot lava garbage.
It was trash. It was trash. It basically it came down to where they could have made a good movie, but then they decided to inject too much black trauma into the movie.
Okay. Matt, was Tony Todd in this one too?
I don't know who that is. Who's Tony Todd?
Original Candyman.
The original Candyman.
Have you ever seen Final Destination?
Which one?
Any of them?
I've seen a majority of them.
He's a black mortician.
Yeah. Like tall black man, like very distinct voice.
He looks familiar. I think he's in it.
Okay. Yeah, he was in the Night of the Living Dead remake. Remember that one?
When did that come out?
He did the who was that in the 80s when he did the Night of the Living Dead remake?
Christian, we never seen that before.
Oh, my bad.
It came out in 1990.
1990. Okay. You got wild. Well, Chad, I didn't know. Good Lord. I mean, I saw it.
Okay,
Man.
yeah. So they said that he made a cameo into it. Yeah.
Okay.
If that horror movie didn't come out in the 2000s going forward, no, I'll give you this. In 1995 or going forward, don't assume we know about it.
Chad, I feel like you're trying to call me old, man.
No. Our tastes are limited. Let's close this episode out.
Right,
thank you so much for coming back, Chris, and closing this this month of spookiness out with us, man. Appreciate you.
It's always a pleasure, and everybody be safe.
We really appreciate you, Chris, being on this. You're the horror guy for us, so we appreciate it. Thank you.
No, you're more than welcome. 3 times the charm.
That's true. You've done the most episodes out of anybody so far. Thank you so much for listening. Please rate, like, and review our podcast on your platform of choice. If you have any feedback, please email us at weusedtotalkpod@gmail.com. Like our Facebook page, We Used to Talk About This at Work, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at We Used to Talk Pod. So we want to thank you guys for listening, and we will see you next week for Dune.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.